Yo, what's happening, guys? Welcome back to another interview. Today, I am going to be chatting to Cam. Cam, thank you so much for taking the time to speak to me today.
Happy to help, man.
So, first of all, like a lot of people are going to be watching right now, and they're going to be wondering who you are exactly. Now, I know from the past and from knowing you for a long time that your job title is a relationship mentor. Do you want to tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yeah, sure. So, I started out in the dating industry. Probably it's been almost coming up to a decade now, and this was really from my own experience of going out, meeting women, meeting girls, dating, and then from there, I started to get into the actual industry in terms of the business side of things. And so, we built up a company called Since Being Single, and this was very much focused on the kind of British Asian dating market. And the reason why I started SBS was because I truly believe that there's a couple of things that are so important when it comes to meeting, attracting, and keeping the partner, that your lifelong partner, the partner of your dreams, however you want to say it, right? And one of those things is wisdom and knowledge, and being able to go out there and meet the right people, attract them, keep them attracted to you, and build that into a very long-term healthy relationship, and ultimately grow together. And the reason why I started SBS is because when I did, which was about a decade ago, nothing like this existed, right? So nothing existed where you could go out there, get guidance on dating. The whole notion of I need help with dating was just unheard of. So when I started doing mentoring, whether it was one-on-one or with one of my one-on-one clients, or when it was as a group or workshops and things like that, it was almost unheard of. So you had to kind of really sell the idea and really sell, like, this is a thing and this is what will help you. And I really enjoyed it. I really love this, and being able to help people and guide people, by the way, through my own experience, being in this industry for over a decade now. And you learn a lot being in the dating industry. You learn what not to do, what to do, what to avoid, the pitfalls, the rewards. You really start to understand, because as someone in the industry, as a business owner, as someone who owns a dating company, you're able to really see, you're really able to zoom out and see dating from a whole different light. And what I really wanted to do then was to get this wisdom and then share it with my clients and give them a new perspective, a new reality when it comes to dating. And especially being for the British Asian market, the British Asian mindset was a very closed mindset when it came to knowledge and wisdom. I wanted to talk really bluntly here and say that the British Asian mindset was very much meet, get married, have kids, happily ever after. But unfortunately, that's not what happens. In reality, people get married very, very quickly because they don't know anything better, and then from there, they then the relationship goes downhill, end up getting divorced, and even if you look at stats today, I mean, they're not actually that different from probably 5 years ago. You're talking over 50%, 60% of all marriages or relationships end in complete turmoil. And so, bringing it back to why I wanted to get into being a dating mentor, relationship mentor. And keep in mind, by the way, right, like I'm not perfect in any way. Like I'm still learning myself, but I really wanted to help people to truly find a great partner, truly, stop. It's hard for me to put this into words. I mean, it's really heartbreaking, and it's very sad when you see people out there dating, and you're like, man, you're just not doing it right.
Yep.
And it's just heartbreak after heartbreak after heartbreak. And I really want to go in there, show people, a new path, some new guidance. And I'm very fortunate now. I've, mentored thousands one-on-one, tens of thousands online. And I mean, it's just amazing. And this is the reason why I do this, is truly to see people in happy, healthy, relationships. And, I mean, I get invited to more weddings than you can think of, believe, by the way. Like, people always ask me, how many success stories do you get? Well, I can tell you this, man, I get invited to more weddings. I get invited to do speeches and all sorts, man. And it's amazing. And that's exactly why I do this. So it's amazing to help people find love. And love is life, man. You know, love is everything. And when you truly find a partner who you can grow together with, then you can go off and do amazing things, right? You can go off and build an empire together, go make money together, be healthy together, be more, even more fulfilled together, and life just goes more, better and better and better. And it all starts off with meeting the right person, getting into a solid relationship, building a solid foundation. Once you've built that solid foundation, which, by the way, it is almost non-existent today. I'm not sure if I can curse on this video or not.
You can say whatever you want. Say whatever you want.
Look, today dating, unfortunately, it's like two dead people fucking, and it's like two skeletons fucking, and we've seen this over the pandemic, right, where relationships have fallen down and broken up, and people have just broken up, and distance kills a lot of fake shit. Distance kills a lot of fake shit. And so relationships today are like two skeletons fucking, and without the sex in a relationship, there is no relationship, right? There is no relationship without the sex. And so this is so important. People don't want to listen. People don't want to hear this, by the way, because they think, oh no, sex is important. Absolutely, sex is important. But when you meet a girl or when you meet a guy, and you have that real bond of unconditional love in that relationship, which, by the way, it's a shame to say this, because most people don't even know what unconditional love is. To put it simply, it's love with no conditions, right? Like love with no conditions at all. And today, when people are going out there and dating, unfortunately, they're dating with a very logical mindset. How tall is he? Where does he live? Is he vegan or veg, or does he eat meat? What religion is he? Where does he live? I want someone who lives around the corner from me, or who lives in my city. Someone who's reads the same books and the same has the same hobbies. Well, let me just tell you this for my own relationship, right? My partner is vegan. I still eat meat now and then. She's trying to convert me into vegan, basically. But I still eat meat, right? So I still eat meat. She's one religion. I'm a different religion. She lives in one city. I live in a different city, a few hours away. She's pretty much the same height as me, if not taller, with heels. What we have in common is completely different on the surface. I mean, we have underlining beliefs and values that are the same, but on the surface, I mean, I love reading. She hates reading. I love personal development when it comes to business, and she learns in more of a spiritual way. So if you were to put that on paper in terms of a relationship, people, you and I would look at that and think, well, these guys would never work together. And well, the reality is, this is what people are doing. They're going out with a checklist like this because of social conditioning. Maybe their friends have told them what to look for in a partner, or societies have told them what to look for in a partner, and they've been conditioned to think in a certain way. And I really wanted to burst that myth of dating is all about, and relationships is all about unconditional love and finding a partner that you can truly grow together with. And it's amazing. It's truly amazing when I meet couples, which, by the way, is very rare, almost never, where I meet couples and this couple is like, man, these guys are doing it properly. And it's a shame to see, because unfortunately a lot of people do settle. A lot of people do because of biological clocks, pressure from society, pressure from family. You got to a certain age, so now you need to get a mortgage and a car, and now you need to get a wife and a husband, and you need to have kids. And unfortunately, they do settle, even though they say that they're never going to settle. They do settle for mediocre, and mediocre is not really what I focus on when it comes to my clients. My clients are very high-end clients, high-quality clients, and I focus on. That's what I focus on. I focus on premium clients. I don't want any dumbasses, any crackheads. I want people who value success. And when you meet these people, man, truly, they are the people that you want when it comes to mentoring and clients.
That's a really interesting point. I want to get to the relationship side of things as well. When I came into this call, I like the top three the three topics I think we're going to be talking about the most is relationships, obviously as a relationship mentor, business, and also we are, we do a lot of fitness stuff ourselves. And I want to see how that kind of ties in with fitness, because I know a lot of people who are interested to know how you do what you do while also, introducing elements of fitness and why that's important. So I think you kind of answered the question a little bit back already, where you said you work with British Asians. I'm interested to know, like, do you have more of a niche inside of that as well? And who do you refuse to work with? Who will you not work with?
Yeah, sure. I mean, let me start with your second question, and then I'll touch on your first question.
Yep.
Let me tell you who I don't work with. I don't work with any crackheads, right? I don't work with any dumbasses. I don't work with anyone who's mediocre. I don't work with anyone who thinks that success is going to be like overnight and a quick win. The people who I work with are incredibly successful people. These people are not stupid. These are sharp people, very successful in other areas of life, very successful in their career, entrepreneurs, business, other areas, health even. And some of the sharpest people, by the way, sharpest people that I've ever met are my clients. And what I do is I then transfer those skills onto finding love and dating. And so they can go off also and get a better love life and better dating life and a relationship and things like that. So yeah, I mean, I work with the top of the top people, the best of the best people. And of course, with that comes, a high ticket price in terms of mentorship. But I do this because I want to screen out. all the what we'd call all the time wasters, all the turds, the things that are at the bottom of your feet. I want to screen them out. Now, some people may say to me, "Oh, that's a bit harsh, Cam," and everyone deserves love. Well, I disagree, right? I disagree. There's a great quote by Charlie Munger, the business partner Warren Buffett, one of the wealthiest men in the world, and he says, to deserve what you want, to get what you want, you have to deserve what you want. The world is not a crazy enough place to reward a bunch of undeserved people. So if you ask anyone, do you deserve love? If we were on a group of 100 people, 1,000 people, and I asked that question, almost everyone would put their hand up and say, yeah, of course I deserve love. And if you asked a question, say, do you deserve to be a millionaire or a billionaire, right? Everyone would put their hand up. If you asked everyone, do you deserve to have a great partner? Everyone would put their hand up. And the reality is that if you deserved it, you already have it. Yeah. Okay. If you deserved it, you would already have it. You'd go to your bank account, there'd be $1 million in there for you. You'd have a great partner. And people don't want to hear that because they think that they deserve it. Now, look, let me just tell you this, as human beings, we don't deserve shit. We don't deserve anything, right? If you live in a first world country, you've got nothing to moan about. Nothing. You've got no excuses for anything. If you live in, I can understand if you live in a third world country where you have to walk 10 miles for a bucket of clean water. But if you live in a first world country, you've got no excuse for anything. And so I refuse to take on any clients who come to me complaining, moaning, excuses, blaming external stimulus. All of my clients are good friends of mine as well. We start off as a mentor and a client relationship. And we still have that relationship because that's why they're hiring me for, as a mentor. But, I've worked with my clients for years, right? Years. And once they've found their partner, I now go and help them with their business stuff. I go and help them make more money because that's what they want to do. And then I go and help them with a few other things in life as well. And we build up these great social networks. And I can't tell you this enough, Adam, right? As the people around you, the people around you are going to give you what you want in life, the people around you. And so, if those of you who are listening and taking notes on this, one thing to write down is to go and find great people. And secondly is to go and screen out all the time wasters or all the pieces of shit, all the turds, all the crackheads, all the dumbasses. Screen out hard. And if I was to ask you a question, and this question was, I've got a glass of water here, right? And if I was to ask you this question, how much poison would I need to put in this glass of water in order for it to become poisonous? It's just a good question, right? Well, some people might say, oh, maybe 10%, a few drops, maybe half. Well, even if you put in 0.00001% of poison into this, you'll end up dying. Well, if you take this principle of life, it's an amazing success principle, and you take that into your own area of life, your friends, your family, your partner, your relationship, your business, and look at the poison that's in your life right now. I don't care whether you've got 10 great friends. If you've got one piece of poison in that friendship group, they will ruin you. So I invite you, and I invite everyone, I do this myself on a daily, monthly, yearly basis, to leave any WhatsApp groups that you're a part of, that even if you like 9 out of 10 of the people in there, but there's one person that you really don't like, that person's going to ruin that entire group, and that one person's going to poison the entire group. So those are the types of clients that I go for. I'm very picky in who I go for. There's a massive screening process that I take my clients to before I even consider not employing them, before I even consider working with them as a mentor. And the reason why is because I don't want to spend my time around people I don't like. It's as simple as that, right? I don't want to spend 2 hours of my Saturday night, or I don't want to spend, half of my day on a Friday with someone that I don't want to hang out with. I want to spend my time with people that I really truly like, people that I respect, people that I look up to and admire, people that I look up to and say, hey, can you teach me something as well? So this is not just about me teaching them. Of course, I'm going to help them when it comes to the things that they need help with. But I might be helping someone like yourself, right? And I'll say, hey, Adam, you're an expert when it comes to fitness, when it comes to training. Give me some tips as well. And these are the types of people that I work with. So screen out hard. And as I'm getting older, as well as I'm getting more mature, right, as a man, as more of a superior man, you would call it. Well, this is even more. I make sure I screen people out even more and even more, and I do this without any kind of hesitation now. And I wish more people did this. By the way, I wish more people did this, and not be so fearful about losing out on friends and people around you, because once you get rid of one person in your life, you'll see, man, you just skyrocket, and you fly. Without these people in your life, and then you'll go and find better people. So if you're working with someone and you lose one client, that's okay. Go and get 10 new clients. If you lose your partner, and because they just don't want to be with you anymore, well, go and get an even better partner. Go and get someone who's going to be on your path and on your purpose with you, and someone who's going to grow together, which is, by the way, grow together is the tagline for SBS, and I truly believe that. So those are the types of clients that I go for.
Yeah, dude, that's incredible stuff, man. And we've spoken a lot. You've mentioned it again a few times in there, where a lot of people who are wasting your time, kind of using all these excuses, and that kind of leads on to the next part I want to get into, which is the COVID-19 situation. Because of COVID-19, we know for a fact that it's affected a lot of businesses. But what people aren't talking about is, as you're saying, relationships. Like, in the context of business and relationships, how has COVID affected your life, and why are so many other people succeeding and so many other people failing, in your opinion?
Yeah, this year, again, it reminds me of a quote from Warren Buffett, actually. Again, someone that I truly look up to for his wisdom. And he says, when the tide comes in, we'll see who's swimming naked. And man, in 2020, the tide came in, right? The tide came in, and the people that were full of shit, right? The relationships that were full of shit, people's lives and happiness that were just based on materialistic values and surface level values, people's health, everything fell to shit. They were all swimming naked. And the reason why, and I truly believe this, is because there was no solid bond there. There was no solid foundation. And so if I think about my own life, I can only talk for myself. I've got a lot of friends. Some friends have succeeded, some friends have completely failed. This time last year, when the pandemic kind of hit, of course, you do kind of panic a little bit, and you think, oh shit, I've got to change things up and got to adapt. And this is one of the reasons why mentors, by the way, this is one of the reasons why I admire you for doing what you're doing with these interviews, because you're learning from people who are just maybe just a little bit maybe more successful than you. Want to learn from them, and mentors are an amazing way to learn, by the way. So I had a chat with one of my mentors, and he said to me, we were having a chat, and he said to me, look, everyone right now is fear-based. Everyone is everyone's not taking any, people aren't taking any risks. They're closing in on themselves.
Emotional
And
as well.
he said to emotionally, we'll talk about emotionally in a second. Emotionally, people are just totally fucked, completely fucked. Emotional control, there's almost none, it's non-existent, but it's a great thing, so we should talk about that. And so I spoke to my mentor, and he said to me, Cam, this is the time where you need to be aggressive. You need to be aggressive in while everyone else is running away from things. You need to run towards it. You need to run, you need to go against the current, go against what the news, we call this media bias in psychology, what the media is saying, what people are saying. And that's exactly what I did. So last year was one of the best years of my life, both financially, both relationship wise, happiness wise, health wise, mental health wise as well, physically as well. So yeah, some people are winning and some people are losing. And I can tell you this is, I want to say the truth here, but when this whole thing finishes, this whole pandemic thing finishes, people are going to come out of this either worse or better. They're definitely not going to come out the same. So, you're hearing a lot of people right now saying, when things go back to normal, shit ain't going back to normal, man. Yeah. Like, come on, like, you need to snap out of shit and you need to open your eyes and wake up. Things are not going to go back to normal. People's mindsets have changed. People have built new habits. People's psychological frameworks have changed. How people fundamentally live their lives has completely changed. And that's because it's been longer than 66, 67 days. And that's what the London School of Economics have done a lot of research on this. They say it takes about 66 days for a new habit to form. And so we've been in this pandemic for more than 66 days, and therefore new habits have been formed. Habits like sitting on the sofa, habits like not going to the gym, habits like focusing so much on looking at a screen rather than interacting with people. And people are starting to build, you can build great habits, but you can also build really, really bad habits too. So last year, I'm very fortunate, what I relied on was my mentors to give me great guidance. I also relied on the 15 years of personal growth and development that I put into myself. And there's a great saying, I'm not sure where it comes from, but it says, you go to war with the weapons that you have, not the weapons that you wish you have. And so when I was going to war last year, which we could call it a war because it felt like a war, the pandemic, right? I'd already done the hard work. I'd already done the 15 years of personal growth, the 15 years of investing in myself, the getting great mentors, great friends around me, great people, I've got friends all over the world, right? I was picking up the phone and speaking to people in LA and New York and Switzerland and Berlin and Miami and all these places around the world, and just catching up with people. And that would never happen if I didn't spend the last 10, 15 years of my life investing in these friendships, investing in the relationship, in my partner, in my business, building solid frameworks, solid foundations. And that's really, really important. So yeah, there was a huge divide. Some people are really struggling when it comes to the pandemic. Even now, there's a massive divide. But if you can understand if you can understand the psychology behind how systems work financially, if it comes to, if we're talking about financially, then it's very easy to make money in a time where when a lot of people are struggling. And if you understand how money works, if you understand the intrinsic value of money, if you understand how money flows around the systems, if you understand risk and reward, these things become very, very easy, or easier than the majority of the majority of the mass rather. So yeah, last year I took a lot of risk. a lot of risk. I invested a lot of money. I'm also obviously, as you know, a real estate investor, which is my main business. And yeah, as a real estate investor, I invested a lot of money into new properties, new builds, new projects, and that involves a lot of risk. With a lot of risk comes a lot of confidence, a lot of courage. Again, you need counsel around you, good friends, you need mentors to guide you when you're taking huge risks financially in real estate, and a lot of self-belief too, knowing that things are gonna work out. So again, all these things I know I'm kind of throwing them out there, like courage and self-belief and confidence, but these I know these are buzzwords, but I want really people to understand that these are not buzzwords. These are ways of life, right? Like confidence is not something that you just get. It's something who you become. And I think it's really important to mention three very important questions that I always ask myself on a daily basis. Number one is, what type of man or woman do I want to become? And I think about this in my own life. What type of man do I want to become, Cam? Who do I want to become? Who do I want to be? What type of lifestyle do I want to live as that man? And number three is, what type of companion or social circle do I want to have as that man living that lifestyle? When I think about these three questions, which by the way, they tick in my head on a daily basis, if not multiple times in a day, I'm able to make decisions very, very easily. I'm able to choose a partner that I want. I'm able to, I know what I want to eat, right? I know if I want to stay healthy. It becomes very easy because I bring it all back to who I want to become as a man, and equally, who I want to become as a woman. And when you know who you want to become as a man, who you are, your values, your boundaries, what you're going to tolerate, decision making becomes very, very easy. And unfortunately, today, and by the way, this is something that I'm working on still myself, or every single day, working on who am I? Who am I? And if I was to ask you, who are you? Without your job, without your career, without your money, without where you live, without your partner, without your family, if it was just you on your own, without anything external, and I was to ask you this question, who are you as a man? Right? Who are you as a woman? Because when people introduce themselves in dating, and I mean, this is very common in dating, people introduce themselves, they say, hey, my name's Adam, and I'm a fitness instructor, or I'm a fitness trainer, personal trainer. Well, that's not who you are. A personal trainer is not who you are. Equally me, right? An entrepreneur is not who I am as a man. I'm not a business. That's not who I am. I don't define myself. I'm not an accountant. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a, whatever it is, a marketer or a social media person. That's not who I am as a man. So if you start to remove these things, this is where the conversation, I hope I'm not losing anyone, by the way, when I'm speaking at this kind of level of depth, because when you start to remove these things from your life, you start to then become, okay, you start to realize, who are you? And everything drives from that. And it's a fascinating journey to figure out more about who you are. And then when it comes to things like the pandemic, you're able to approach that in a way where you're able to make decisions very easy. You're able to take risks a lot more easier. You're able to cut off people or remove people from your life in terms of a partner that you might have been hanging on to previously just because it was more convenient. But now there was maybe distance in a relationship. Like I said earlier, distance kills a lot of fake shit. And so the distance has basically just done you a favor. And the pandemic did a lot of people favors, actually, when it came to relationships. People might look at it in terms of one perspective and think, distance killed it. Well, it was killed. It was killed before coronavirus, right? The beer virus, right? The beer virus just basically made it happen. And but that relationship was dead well before. It's in the same way when you quit a job, right? When you hand in your notice to a job and you say, okay, I quit. Well, guess what? You quit that job like 6 months before. You quit that job in your mind 6 months or a year before. And so a lot of things ended for a lot of people. And it was a great year for many, and it was a messed up year for a lot of people too.
Yeah.
But I hope everyone's fine, and I hope everyone's good and they can learn from it, and they can go out there and go do what they truly want to do in life now. This is a great opportunity for people to build their life again with passion, with precision, and do things how they really want to do it.
Yeah. Dude, I could listen to this all day. I don't think you've lost anyone, because I'm really listening to this. This is incredible stuff. You mentioned like this is something that's passionate to you as well. I'm passionate about fitness. One thing that we teach within what we do is the 3 pillars of fitness, which are health, physique, and performance, right? And then like within, like above that, I would say like the 3 pillars of life are probably somewhere in the realm of relationships, business or success, whatever you want to call it, and then fitness, right? So a lot of that is what we're talking about right now. We've talked a bit about like sort of business success, relationships. I'm keen to know a little bit more into the realm of fitness, how you're able to juggle all this, because there are very similar comparisons, right? With business, like a lot of businesses are failing and a lot of people's health is failing in the same way. So I know in the UK, the gyms are closed right now, and yeah, it's just a little bit restrictive right now. How are you able to work on those 3 principles, which is your health, your physique, and your performance, with everything that's been going on and tying to business and relationship?
Yeah, look, I'm gonna be very honest. It's tough, man. Okay, so I totally empathize with a lot of people who are trying to balance their money with their relationship with their children, their marriage, and with their family, and everyone's got their own battles to fight. So I totally get that. Again, I've done all the hard work, right? I've done all the hard work, all these 10, 15 years of learning how to live life, principles of success, frameworks of success. And for me personally, just practically how I'm able to kind of balance these things. Well, of course, in the UK, in London, all the gyms are closed. So as you know, I am a big gym goer. I've been going to the gym since the age of, since I can remember, right? Since 17, maybe, since I was able to go to the gym. And now I'm 32, coming up to 33 years old now. And, I've been going to the gym for, you're talking, 12, 13 years, continuously, almost every single day for the last 13 years. And so, but there's a great principle that one of my mentors shared with me. And he said to me, Cam, you got to build forgiveness into the land. Right, you got to build forgiveness into the land. Now, I just want to kind of explain this principle, because it's exactly what helped me over the last year in terms of mentally and physically, in terms of my health. Well, when you build forgiveness into the land, what you're already doing is you're building this margin of safety. And so if I give you a practical example, which is if you go into an elevator and it says in the elevator, a maximum of 10 people can go in that elevator, and you see that there's 9 people in there, well, I would probably not go into that elevator, because there's no margin of safety. If you were to go into that elevator and it's like 10 out of 10 people, there's a high chance that elevator will break down. I'd rather go into another elevator with 2 people or 3 people, because there's a huge margin of safety. And that margin of safety is exactly what I've been building up to over the last 12, 13 years, right? So I've been building, like you as well, I'm sure many others, by the way, who are into fitness and gym goers and all this kind of stuff, have built up that forgiveness into the body. So if you and I were to not go to the gym for an entire year, right? So if you and I just simply were to not do any exercise apart from basic regular walking, things like that, regular household chores and things like that, and we were both to meet in 12 months, we would still look all right. Right, we would still look pretty good. Why? Because we built the forgiveness into the land, right? So we've done all the hard work. So that helped me a lot over the pandemic, when it came to my health, when it came to my fitness, when it came to my mind as well, which I think we should definitely touch on and talk about if this is going to be of value, because I do find that last year a lot of people really struggled with their mental health, and I mean, it's a huge problem when it comes to people not being in control of their own mind. So just going back to your point though of how I balance it, well, I'll tell you my daily routine, right? So I wake up quite early in the morning, kind of 5 a.m. or so, kind of 5:30, depend. This really, by the way, this is not black and white. It kind of changes now and then, right? So, but generally, I wake up 5 o'clock in the morning, and guess what? You don't want to get out of bed. Okay, it's dark outside, it's cold, you've got a beautiful girl lying next to you, you're warm and you're cozy, and then you've got to go out and you've got to go for a 20-minute, 30-minute walk. I mean, what would you rather do, right? Would you rather stay in bed with your beautiful girlfriend, it's hot and cozy and warm, and it's like, oh my God, or would you go outside in freezing cold, -1, -2 degrees, half asleep, and go for a 20-minute, 30-minute walk? Well, most people would be like, oh, fuck it, I'm gonna stay in bed, right? And I fell into this trap too, where you think, hey, fuck it. But well, saying that is you're building a bad habit there, right? Because like I said, equally you can build good habits, you can also build bad habits. And going back to the question of who do I want to become as a man, do I want to become someone who is inconsistent? Do I want to become someone who cannot provide for my partner, my friends and family? Do I want to become someone who is lazy and is not able to build up the courage to go and work on his health and his mentality? Well, I don't want to become that guy, right? So that goes through my mind, and I'm like, let's get out of bed, and I jump out of bed very quickly, and I'm like, yeah, let's go do this. So I go for a daily walk, and that daily walk is about half an hour. And one thing I would really invite people to do, by the way, is when you do go for a daily walk, which is, by the way, all I've been really doing in terms of the exercise over the last 12 months, go and do your daily walk. If gyms are not open, go and do your daily walk around nature, right? Somewhere in nature, not somewhere that's man-made, because it's really important to get that natural feminine energy. That's why we call her Mother Nature, to get that Mother Nature to be around water, to be around animals, to be around trees, leaves, grass, greenery, and to not go around and do a 30-minute walk around man-made streets and a city and things like that. So even if you do live in a city, there are still spots, parks and greenery and things like that. So, I'm very fortunate. I've got a forest that's just around the corner around me. It's got animals in there. It's got a rooster in there that's every single day, wakes up at 6 o'clock in the morning. I hear it every single day. And there's ducks, and it's beautiful, right? So what I do, I go on my 30-minute walk, and that time is what I call monk time, right? MONK. It's my time, it's Cam's time. And I use that time just to become present, to become grounded as a man, to absorb the energy, the feminine energy, the Mother Nature. I often would talk to the animals. I would even touch the trees. I know it's getting a bit hippie now, right? But I'd touch the trees, I'd get the energy from the trees. I'd also do my Tai Chi as well. So I'm very big into Tai Chi. So I would do my Tai Chi, again, my breathing exercises, move the chi around my body, the yin and the yang energy, the masculine and the feminine. And I would use that half an hour or that hour for myself. There would be I would leave my phone in my apartment or in my home, and that would be my daily kind of ritual, my daily time, just to keep me sane, keep me focused, keep me grounded, keep me sane, keep me clear-minded, keep me present. I mean, God, there's so much that you can take away from these things. And then that would be my 45 minutes, an hour or so, and then I'd come back, have a shower, I'd crack on with the day's work, and I'd be very focused when I would work. And I generally don't work that hard, if I'm honest, right? So I could actually work a lot harder than I do right now. I don't work that hard, in all honesty. But that's not because hard work is not important. Of course, it's because I've done a lot of hard work. Whereas now, I've tortured myself in my 20s, right? In my 20s, I've literally tortured myself. It was like I'd rather put shards of glass in my eyes than go through what I went through in my 20s. To build up the businesses and the success that I have now. I would not do it again, because it was just way too, I almost killed myself, right? So I've done all that work. So now what I focus on, as I get into my 30s, is more focusing on my mental health. So it's important I read. Reading is really important. I've been doing a book a day challenge for even right now. I mean, I've been doing a book a day challenge for the last 60 days with a group of people. So I'll read a book a day, spend an hour or an hour and a half, 2 hours reading a book a day. Again, really investing in yourself. The more you invest in yourself, the more money you invest in yourself. I speak to my mentors on a daily basis. I speak to my friends on a daily basis. And these are the things that are really, really important. One other thing that's really important, by the way, I really want to touch on this, is the food and your nutrition. Now, I'm not a nutritional expert. I'm very fortunate. I have a partner. She's a nutritionist. So, she tells me off and tells me what to do and what to. So I'm very, very fortunate in that way. So I also stay on top of my nutrition. I make sure I eat right. And this is really important for entrepreneurs to hear, because as an entrepreneur, I can tell you right now, do not make money at the expense of your health. It is the worst thing that you can do. And all I say to entrepreneurs is, man, make a little bit less money. Just make a little bit less and go fix your health, because there's no point taking all this money to your graveyard. And I'm talking about physical health, I'm talking about mental health, I'm talking about your internal organs, the food that you eat, the supplements that you take. Really, go out and hire a nutritionist, go out and hire a nutritional therapist who will put you on a right path to eat the right foods for you, by the way, that are for you. It's one of the reasons why I never give nutrition advice, because what works for me will not work for you. What works for me will not work for someone else. So that's a really important point for entrepreneurs, is go out and get your nutrition right. So hopefully that is of value. How I stayed sane and how I stayed on top of things was, I've actually got a list here, by the way. This is really important. This is really good to hear, right? So I stopped doing some things, right? And I found myself burnt out. This was kind of maybe end of January. And I was thinking, why am I burnt out? Like the entire 2020 pandemic was a rocket. And then at the end of January, the last 2 weeks of January 2021, I was pretty much burnt out. And I was thinking, why was this? And I made a list here. You can see this list. And it's because I stopped doing these things. All the things that I just told you that I was doing. I started going for my daily walks. I stopped being in sunlight. I wasn't sleeping. I wasn't consistent in my sleeping. I wasn't laughing enough, having fun. I wasn't talking to my friends, my mentors, right? I didn't reward myself. And this is really important for entrepreneurs, to reward yourself, man. Like, I don't care how small it is or how big it is, reward yourself. And by the way, food is not a reward. Okay, food is not a reward. Like, if you want to go and get a fillet of fish burger, go and get it, right? But just realize that it's not a reward. And this is an important mindset for a lot of people to understand. Food is not a reward. Food helps you survive. A fillet of fish will help, a McDonald's or a Big Mac, it'll help you survive. It won't help you reproduce, it won't help you replicate, but it'll help you survive. Okay. But it's not a reward. A reward is going and doing something for yourself. Starting up Tai Chi, a hobby, pampering yourself, taking time out for yourself, going on a monthly or a weekly retreat. These are things. Watching a movie is not a treat. It's not a reward, because it's still stimulating your mind and your brain. Reading a book is not a reward. It's still stimulating your mind and your brain. So again, it's removing yourself, spending some monk time for yourself, and just doing things that make you happy. I mean, I love hanging out with my friends, right? I love doing a group call with, a group of really successful men, and we could talk for hours about success and life, and this is amazing. So I hope that helps, and I hope that is of value to the people listening, and to those who want a bit more balance in your life. It's tough. I have to say, it is tough, but if you can, it's all the little things, that staying on top of the little things, that's really important.
Well, we're going into like the sort of mental health side of things, which I think is amazing. And that kind of goes into my next part. Now, just for a bit of context for anyone who's kind of listening in, Cam, you actually helped me, I'm sure you remember, through a really dark time with my relationship in the past, like a past relationship. And it was very surprising to me. I'd never experienced something like that in my life, and I didn't know. You know, you were the first person that came to mind, being a relationship mentor, and you didn't just get me out of that situation of feeling like a rut, but it actually helped me for all my future relationships. Like, it was incredibly powerful, and it had to do with what we're going to discuss, which is mental health or mindset, whatever, whichever way you want to call it. And it even got to like a stage where, you know, I was helping my clients to a certain degree. I'm not a life coach, but it helped. There's a lot of comparisons with that as well. And, you know, a lot of it had to do with us humans being selective pessimists and selective um, optimists. So we kind of pick and choose, like the example you gave before of like, do you want to wake up at 5:30 in the morning and go for a walk? Well, a lot of people are going to say no, because they selectively choose to be pessimistic and think of all the negative sides. Whereas since you've helped me with my relationship, I've transferred some of that into some of the things now where I'm selective optimist. So when I wake up, let's say at 5 o'clock in the morning, I'm not thinking about the negative sides. I'm thinking about the positive. I'm like, when I get back, I'm going to feel great. I'm going to have a shower. I'm going to be so productive. And that changed my mindset into being a selective optimist and selective pessimist for any topic. And it works both ways. There's a lot of things which you want to do, but then I'm like, oh, I can't go to my friend's party because of this and that. When I was actually, you know, having that change of mindset, which was huge to me. So I want to hear a little bit more about your sort of take on mindset and mental health.
Yeah, I mean, mindset is a huge subject, but let me just tell you what's, you know, some of the big things. I mean, this is a whole different conversation. We could talk here for the next, you know, good few hours on this, but one thing that I'm seeing right now, and one thing that I saw over 2020, especially the pandemic, was a lack of emotional control, and a lack of, and these three words are so important: complete emotional control. And it's something that I've been working on for over a decade, to able to have complete emotional control. So I often say to people, my clients, and by the way, this is going to come across more cocky than it really is, but I always tell my clients is that I don't often think, right? I don't often have thoughts. And they say to me, I mean, I'll tell you this one story about, you know, I was dating a girl. This was many years ago, and she always used to ask me, you know, Cam, you know, so what are you thinking about, right? Or, you know, when we're out on a date, maybe it's like, oh, so what are you thinking, right? What are you thinking? And I used to turn around to her and say, nothing. She's like, oh, but no, Caroline, tell me what are you thinking? I'm like, nothing. And the reason why is because I did a lot of presence work, meaning being in the now and in the moment right now, just as I am with you. So yeah, you know, we both got a lot of other shit going on. I've got tons of other shit that I could be doing right now, but I'm here with you. And my only goal here is to help you and help the people that are watching it in the capacity that I can, right? So if I'm able to focus my energy and, you know, my chi, my force into just this, knowing that, yeah, of course I've got a million other things going on. I've got lawsuits going on, I've got this going on, I've got, you know, business stuff going on, I've got real estate stuff going on, I've got deals going on, I've got all sorts of stuff going on, right? But being able to make yourself present and keep yourself focused on the moment, the now, is such an important part of life. And being able to just enjoy success, man, like enjoy having fun when it comes to success. So yeah, mindset is a big thing. But if you can start to focus on complete emotional control, not being emotionally triggered easily. Again, we could go down in so many different directions on this, but if we talk about thoughts and the internal thoughts that we have, well, a lot of the reason why people right now are not in control of their own thoughts is because they're a bitch of their own brain, what we call it, right? They're a slave of their own brain, meaning that they can't turn the off switch. Like they cannot physically push, like, stop thinking, like stop. And this is a big problem, man. And it's even more so in today's world. And I can't even imagine what the younger generations are going through when it comes to this stuff, because there's no help out there for them. So a couple of, important things that have helped me is nature. 100% is being around nature, being around mother nature, and really absorbing the mother nature. You'd be very surprised. And even if you don't live in a place that's surrounded by nature, man, just look at the sky, right? The sky is nature. The sky is, changing every second, and you can get beautiful energy from the sky. So that's number one. Number two is having a lot of fun, right? Really enjoying the process of what you're doing, rather than chasing the paper, right? Chasing the money. I've never been a big, yes, I'm financially successful, but I'm never really been a big chaser of paper. I'm not really chasing money. What I am chasing, though, is a good fucking life, right? Like a good, fun, enjoyable, happy life where I can wake up and do what I want to do, when I want to do it, with whom I want to do it with. And I don't care, by the way, like how much money someone has. I don't care what car people drive. I don't care about their level of success. What I care about is when I meet someone and I ask them, hey, are you genuinely like living a good life? And they turn around to me and they're like, yeah. And I'm like, that's cool, man. That is cool. I don't care whether they're an entrepreneur or not. I don't care whether they've got 5 kids or no kids. I don't care whether they drive a shitty car or a Rolls Royce. It doesn't really bother me. So that's been my focus always, is to always focus on living a good, happy, fun life. And number 3, I'd say on this is again, going back to that point of complete emotional control. And there's many things that you can try when it comes to this. Everyone has their own journey and path. You can try a little bit of meditation. You can try the more of the spiritual journey in life. You can do what works for you, really. But just being aware, I think, is probably one of the most important things, which is number 4, is awareness. And having awareness of your thoughts. So you might be sat there, doing your thing at work, and all of a sudden you get a thought come through your mind. What's really fun and advanced is when you can start to play around with your thoughts and play around with your mind. So a thought comes in, and then maybe it's a negative thought, or maybe it's a depressing thought, or maybe it's like a thought of I'm a piece of shit and I'm a loser and I can't do this. But when that thought comes into your mind, just sit there and be like, that's quite funny. I just had that thought. And then now you start to go into a whole different way of living, because now you become the one in control of your mind, not the mind that's in control of you. And so just having awareness of how you're thinking, what you're doing, how you're acting, what your trigger points are, what you're reacting to. These are very, very simple things that can help having emotion control. So people often say to me, I meditate. I don't meditate much anymore. I used to. If you are going to meditate, meditate for maybe 10, 15 minutes a day. Anything longer is going to start cutting into other areas of your success. But people say to me, meditation, I feel very blissful after meditation. Well, I turn around to those people and I say to them, well, that's how I feel almost all the time, right? Almost all the time. So meditation is a good little first step to get onto that path of controlling your mind. I would avoid any of these shitty apps, right, that are like guided meditation. These apps are just complete nonsense, and because it's just stimulating your brain even more, when what you're trying to do is not learn, and now you're stimulating your mind even more, and that's just, it's like a double-edged sword. It's just a waste of time, basically. And we could go more into this topic if you really want to, but I do want to say that it is very important that people have control over their own minds. Some of the things that I've touched on before: remove negative people. Not necessarily remove negative people, remove people which have got bad energy, right? Because I think negativity is okay, positivity is okay. I don't want to be around people who are always positive. I don't want to be around people who are always negative. I want to be around people who are a bit fucking fucked up, a bit crazy. Right? I want to be around crazy people who are a little bit wild and a bit wacky, and they're just doing some crazy shit. I don't want to be around people who are like positive, and they're always happy and smiling. I'm like, well, that's cool. Equally, I don't want to be around people who are always negative. I want to be around people who are just always balanced, a little bit wild and a bit wacky, a bit crazy. I think that's kind of fun. But yeah, remove any poison from your life. That's the first step. Do some meditation, maybe. Surround yourself in nature. And the last point is have fun, man. You know, take some time off for yourself. It's okay. Like this whole hustle, hustle, hustle until you're dead mentality. I don't know who came up with this shit, right? Like this whole hustle until you die mentality. Well, yeah, do that. I mean, and then you're dead, and then what? Right? And then what? So unfortunately, this is a lesson I had to learn later on in life, right? I didn't want to learn this. No one was there to teach me this, and I did. I did kill myself pretty much. I did kill myself by working hard. Not saying that you shouldn't work hard, absolutely, but equally work hard, but also have fun. Also hang out with your friends. Also, because if you don't do that, you're not going to have any friends at the end of it. Spend time with your partner, spend time with your kids, because you know what, you can be sat there working your ass off, but you know what, your relationship's going to be shit. Your kids are going to think, well, what a fucking, what a dumbass, you're not even being a great father or a great mother. Your family's going to think, what a fool, all he cares about is money. And your internal health, I mean, let me just tell you this, like, it's you might brainwash yourself to think that you're happy, but really you're probably a depressed piece of shit inside. And honestly, man, when you can find that true balance in life, that very holistic approach to life, and this is a beautiful, beautiful way to live your life. And I'm very fortunate. I have great mentors who are 15, 20 years, 30 years older than me, men and women who are financially successful, men and women who have got great kids, families, great partnerships, great friends, great diet, nutrition, a great mindset that I'm able to learn from. I know not everyone has that. And that's why I obviously, that's why I have clients, and that's why I mentor people. So I hope that helps.
Yeah, dude, that's super, super helpful. I've got one more thing I want to get into really quickly. I just want to check with you first how you're doing for time. You're okay?
Yeah, go for it, man. Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, sure.
It's so good because like every time I bring up my question, you always answer like 2 or 3 questions after that already. So you already know where I'm kind of going with this. But I do have one more, which it's a question that was I don't know if it was created by, it was one of my favorite entrepreneurs, Russell Brunson, and he comes up with a quote as part of his like 30-day challenge or something, which is like, if you suddenly lose everything, what would you do from day 1 to day 30 to save yourself?
Yeah, it's a great question, and I touched on this right earlier, where it's like, if you wake up tomorrow and everything around you is has collapsed, right? You've got no money, you've got no friends, you've got no partner. What would you do? And the great thing about that is that you would still have yourself, right? You still have you'd still be the person that you are, your mind. I'd still have all the 15, 20 years of mindsets and principles and all the learnings and wisdom, right? And what I would do, firstly, I mean, probably one of the first things, I'd probably just start reading. Right? I'd probably just start reading. Wow. And I'd start reading. I'd probably spend some time in Mother Nature. I wouldn't stress out, right? Like I'm not the type of person to freak out. Even if I was to lose everything, I wouldn't be like, oh fuck, like I'm going crazy, like I'm freaking out. I wouldn't. I'd just be like, look, I'm alive, I'm feeling good. And this is I mean, such a great place to be, by the way, when without anything else around you, you are truly fulfilled in your life. And most people, they don't rely on that. They rely on what car they drive, how they, how much money they have, their social status, their friends. Without these things, they're nothing. They are truly like, they're done. So yeah, I would probably do a bit of reading. I'd probably actually do a retreat. I'd probably take some time out, probably spend a week going and traveling, or going and spending some time on my own in Mother Nature. I'd probably take with me a notebook and a pen, and just brainstorm and write down some ideas and things like that. And then from there, I'd start to build something. whatever that is, whether it's a business or real estate. If I needed to make some money, I could make some money very easily. It's not that hard to make money. You could just be a little bit creative. Again, creativity comes from the feminine energy, which is one of the reasons why I surround myself constantly. Like, I think this, I surround myself with women all the time. Great, good, strong women, right? Strong feminine energy. I was on a call just before you with 10 women, right? I was the only guy on there with another mentor. She's giving, she's doing a talk on there. So yeah, I mean, I would do that. I would spend the first week just reading, learning, going out, exploring, being around Mother Nature. I would take a notebook and a pen, do some cool ideas. And then from there, put some systems in place and start to build something cool. And that's kind of cool. I mean, if you're then talking about financially, how would you then make money financially? Well, it's pretty simple, pretty straightforward. I'd again be a little bit creative. You'd have to have good energy for this too, by the way. Like, there'd have to be that excitement and that energy to, like, let's go and create something fun. And this is one thing I love about being in business and as an entrepreneur, because you're just creating, and creating comes from the feminine energy. If you look at women, right, we're not necessarily saying that women are feminine, because men are also feminine and women are also masculine. But if you just take this as kind of just as an example, women are creators, right? They create because they create the egg and they create the child. So I'd go into my feminine energy, I'd create something cool. And it's one of the reasons why it's important to be around Mother Nature, because in Mother Nature, you create ideas, and then you go out and you hustle, you go talk to people, you go build some relationships, you go get some social circles around you, and then you just start talking, and you see, okay, how can I hustle? How can I make a little bit of cash? How can I make a bit of money? Doing something that you kind of enjoy doing, not necessarily something that you love doing. I think I kind of want to just say this here. I don't love what I do. I enjoy what I do.
Yeah.
I don't love it. What I love to do is, I love Tai Chi. I love reading. I love spending time with my friends and my fucking nieces and nephews. I love spending time with my partner. But I wouldn't make those into a business, right? Like, does that make that? I wouldn't make Tai Chi into a business. I wouldn't make reading into a business. I love training, going to the gym, and these kind of things. I wouldn't make that into a business. But what I do is I enjoy the things that I do. So yeah, I would spend that time thinking, what do I enjoy doing, and then from there start building something cool. So yeah, I wouldn't panic. I wouldn't go crazy. I just do some fun shit, man.
Dude, that's awesome. I could talk about this all day, man. I honestly could. I was just thinking before, when you were saying to take down notes, I have to go rewatch through this video to put the timestamps in and everything. And I'm just going to be taking notes, man. I'm going to be taking as much as I can. I'm probably going to stick them up on my walls. This is incredible stuff, man. Is there anything else you want to add to anyone who's listening in to everything?
Yeah, I mean, the last thought would be just to live a good life, man. Have fun, live a good life, be happy, and don't worry so much about. Don't as you get older, this is what you start to realize. Stop giving a shit about what others think. Stop comparing yourself. Oh, this person makes this much money. This person's got this car. This person's got this. This person's got this. Oh, they're in a relationship. I'm not. All these things, like, go do you, do some cool shit, have fun in life, and live a good, happy life. And if you can just keep that at the center of how you want, I mean, that's what I do, by the way. That's my philosophy of life, if you want to call it that, right? Just to make sure that every day that I wake up is a good day. And I kind of like that. If every single day is a good day, every single day is like a 7 or an 8 out of 10, I'm good with that, man. The last thing I want is to wake up one day and it be a 10, and the other day is like a 1, where I'm so depressed that I cannot even get out of bed. So I'd rather each day just be a 7. I'll be happy. So yeah, man, enjoy it. Have fun. Success is I don't care what whether you're into business or not, or whatever, it's dating. Dating is fun, man. It was one of the most beautiful journeys of my entire life. You know, out of that came a beautiful relationship. And you know, if I was single tomorrow, I'd go off and do the same thing again, right? I'd go off and just enjoy the journey. I wouldn't be stressed out about, I need to find a girl, I need to find a guy, I need to get married. You know, it's always looking at the end of the end of the end. Well, you know, one day you might wake up and you know, you end up with everything that you wanted, right? And then you realize that you're still a piece of shit, and that's not what you want in life. Because let me tell you that I've been there. I'm telling you from my own experience, that's the worst thing that could possibly happen, is that you have everything that you wanted. You have the cars, you have the proper real estate, you have the great, you know, this hot, amazing girl, right? You have the friends, you have the money, you have the business, you have everything, right? You have the social status, the power, everything, the control. And then you wake up and you're like, man, I'm still a piece of shit. And that's not a feeling I ever want to feel ever again. So I hope that helps in terms of my last thoughts.
That's incredible, Ben. I was just thinking today, was it that we've actually known each other for about 8 years now, I think, like almost 8 years.
Wow,
maybe.
has it been 8 years?
Yeah, it was something like, I was working it out and I was like, man, the first day we met, that would have been ages ago. So I just wanted to say, you know, huge thank you, because since in those last 8 years, I've seen you evolve. I'm sure you've seen a little bit about, you know, me evolving as well. So I know how precious your time is. So I just want to say thank you so much for the opportunity to speak to you today and to share some of your wisdom.
Yeah, no worries, man. Hope it helps.
Yeah. Thanks again, Cam. And we'll catch you in a future episode, I guess. All right. Take care, man.